G'day linesmen, welcome to another Trap Chat. Today we're going to talk about the possible transfer of Sandro Tonali to a future club. Now the Brescia owner, Massimo Cellino, has come out and said so far there's only been a few phone calls without having anything beyond that. Inter and Juve have both asked me about him, as have other teams. What's for certain is that the player wants to stay in Italy and will accommodate him. Now, he's also come out and said that PSG have made him a few offers. An interesting one, Barcelona offered him 65 million plus two other players, but they apparently denied that one. Now, also, Napoli has also offered 40 million euros for Tonali, but it seems like Tonali wants to stay in Italy here, with the obvious clubs being Juventus and Inter. Now, they're both in pole positions to sign him. There have been rumours for both clubs. But don't rule out on, some other clubs there like Napoli, perhaps a Roma, some smaller clubs there compared to these other two clubs. But we'll touch on where he'll go soon, where he should go. Now, Tonali is a promising young central mid player. If anyone hasn't heard of him yet, 20 years old, plays centre defensive mid, in that playmaker position, the deep playmaker role, the register. And there's been comparisons to a Pirlo type player. He's even compared himself to a Gattuso more than Pirlo. I would say he's more of a combination between those. Definitely has that aggressive tackle. He likes to tackle, likes to defend. He is a very competent defender, and he can also pass the ball pretty well. He said he has more of a short passing game, but he can definitely make those long-range passes. He's definitely a promising player. This season for Brescia, he's played 24 games with 1 goal and 5 assists, and he was instrumental in winning the Serie B with Brescia last year. And per game, he's averaging 2.1 key passes and 1.2 tackles per game with a 74% pass accuracy. He's definitely an up-and-coming player. And any team would really, flourish with him. He's compared himself to Stevie G, Modric. He's definitely that player who can sit back and also score goals. Now the question ponders, where should he go? It is actually interesting that PSG and Barcelona and apparently other clubs have offered him a contract, but he really wants to stay in Italy. Barca would be a very good big club for him to go to. Take over that Sergio Busquets role and that Vidal role in the center of the park. But is he ready for that? In my opinion, he's still, although promising, he's still a bit raw of that player. And I don't think he'd start straight away there. It might take a few years for him to adapt. Not like Frankie de Jong or someone who's just gone in and started straight away for the club. But, he would very much suit that role. PSG as well, also interested in him. Him next to Verratti would be amazing. Again, they have those types of players like Paredes, those central defensive mids who also young as well, also starting. Would he actually start for those teams? He is actually similar to Verratti because they both came from Serie B sides. Verratti with Pescara, and it'd be interesting to see how he would play with him in the center of the park. But yeah, the question ponders, would he start for these teams? Highly competitive in Europe in the Champions League. I'm going to lean with a no there, but he's definitely promising, and it would be really interesting to see how he would play at Barcelona. But enough of that. He wants to stay in Italy, and he wants to, obviously go to Inter and Juve. They would be the big two clubs. Would he play well with Napoli? And possibly a Roma or a Lazio? Look, it really comes down to the playing time where he's best suited. And with those clubs, the Napoli, the Roma, Lazio, he would probably get a starting role earlier than at Inter or Juventus. The only thing I'd say with that is it's a big move for the first few seasons, but it's very risky in actual fact. Napoli, I just don't see them being a sustainable team. They have Alan in the midfield there, Ruiz. There's rumours of Ruiz going, so he would start. I would say he would maybe take over that Ruiz playing position, or that Alan partnership would be pretty intense. But also Napoli is just, I feel like they're personally going downhill. There's rumours all the time of Koulibaly leaving, Mertens. It's kind of getting a bit to, can they rebuild? Will they be able to rebuild? You can see this year they've already been less competitive than previous years. It would be interesting for Tonali to play under Gattuso because, he's compared himself to Gattuso and see where Gattuso would play him. He'd know where to play him quite well, especially in that defensive mindset of his. But, I just feel like, yes, it'd be good for him to go and start playing regular playing time with Napoli, but I just feel, is that the smartest move for him in the future? If Napoli go downhill, then he will probably have to sign for another club. They'll sell him. So I just feel like it's another step that he doesn't need to make. Just go straight into the third step, sign for a bigger club. I feel like these two teams do suit his playing style. Now, where should he go? Should he go to Inter? Should he go to a Juventus? Let's have a look at these teams. I feel like, let's start with Inter. They have a history of, kind of getting these young talents and not doing much with them. Selling them at the wrong time, maybe before they start getting into their rhythm. Selling them for a low price, and then, you've seen with Coutinho, players like that who have just gone for millions of dollars afterwards, after Inter has sold them for 20 million. But I think it's a bit different now under Antonio Conte, who is now building a very strong team. You can see that with all these new players that he's signed, in particularly the midfield. He'll be going into a strong midfield there if Tonali does sign for them. But that midfield's also very packed. You've got Brozovic, Barella, Sensi, Vecino, Eriksen, Gagliardini. The question also is asked: will he start in that team? Because really, the smart thing for Tonali is to get playing time, and going into this stacked midfield it's a bit risky because he might not start every game. But you have seen with like Barella, he didn't start at the start of the season, but now he's playing pretty much every game. Brozovic plays every game. And also it is interesting with Conte, he does obviously like to sign a lot of these Italian midfielders. Imagine that midfield with Barella, Sensi and Tonali there. That would be quite good for the Italian national team as well. But if he does go to Inter, don't get me wrong, they're very much interested and they are highly rumoured for him. Will he start? Is this a good fit for Tonali? Because you don't want to stunt his growth at all and make him be a flop, which Inter does have a history with. But as I said, they're looking pretty good. I'm liking their plans, their intentions with the new president and Conte and everything. So we'll see. Now, if he does go, they're going to have to ship off a few players here. Obviously, they've just signed Eriksen, so I don't see him going anywhere too soon. And you've got your starters, Brozovic, Barella, Sensi. I don't see them going anywhere. Now, the two ones that look like he would replace is Vecino and Gagliardini. Gags not having too many games this season. 16 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Which, look, it's not bad, but he has been struggling these past recent seasons. And also Vecino, 23 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. Who does get his... Vecino does get his... everyone does shit on him a bit, but I feel like he's not as bad. He is definitely a goal presence as well. But the thing with Tonali is he better than both players? I would say yes, probably. It is risky still. He is a bit raw, but I would say he's definitely better than Gagliardini and Vecino. I feel like having Tonali instead will be able to, play that defensive role that they also both provide, but also attack a bit more, and especially the passing will be the big key. Gags and Vecino are not great passers of the ball, and imagine that Tonali slotting in with Sensi, Barella, Brozovic, Eriksen. That would be quite a very skillful midfield. They can all pass. A lot of them can defend. And you have scorers of the ball like Eriksen as well. And also, I feel like Tonali is kind of like a Barella, can tackle, is aggressive, and can also just play football. Now, that's the thing though. If he goes to Inter, will he be a starter? I feel like he will be a rotation player at best. At the beginning, anything can happen. We can see if he plays amazingly, he will obviously hopefully get the start, but it will be hard to start for a big team like Inter and then start these games. I would say he's a rotation player at best. Is that good for him? That's the question. Is that going to stunt his growth? It's possible. But that team, I feel like Inter is having a very good plan, a very good way of going forward. And that's all you need, really. Those players, Brozovic, Barella, Sensi, Eriksen, Tonali, one of Vecino Gags. A few of those players are going to play less, but that's a depthful team filled with depth. And I feel like that's all you need for Inter. But that's the thing, is that good for Tonali personally? He's going to go into a good team, and that will help them win even more, which is obviously good for his career. But it might stunt his playing time, which could be hurtful. Now, Juventus is another club which he could go to. Also, obviously, currently on top of Serie A. Will he fit in Sarri's playing style? That is the question. You've seen before with Sarri, he's a bit particular with his midfielders. Jorginho he loves. Can Tonali be the next Jorginho? Hopefully he's a bit more skillful than that. But Sarri loves his one-touch play in the middle. He loves to offload quickly with these players. And let's look at Juventus's midfield so far. You have Pjanic, Bentancur, Ramsey, Rabiot, Matuidi, and Khedira. It's obviously a strong midfield. Not the best midfield in recent years for Juventus. They've been dominant in Serie A, made a few Champions League finals, but I feel like it's definitely one of their weakest in years. And don't get me wrong, Juve's Juve. They're obviously going to win. They're going to continue to win. So will Tonali be that match in there? I would say a few players aren't playing at their best, so Tonali can easily replace them. You have the Rabiot, who's played 25 games with 0 goals and 0 assists. Look, I feel like Juventus can easily offload him for Tonali. You have Bentancur, who's been favoured for Sarri here. 30 games, 1 goal, 7 assists. Look, it's good. 7 assists in Serie A, 1 goal. Can he be better? Is Tonali better than Bentancur? I'd say the potential is there. You can't really compare these players. Bentancur has a lot more experience at the highest level here, but I do feel like Tonali will be able to slot in perfectly there. And Khedira has been playing less games. They're probably going to offload him soon. Now, will he fit with Sarri's style of play in Juventus? He's more... I feel like Sarri would transform him more of a centre mid player, more of a box-to-box. And Tonali would slot in there with a defensive... He's very capable defensively, so he will play in the centre of the park there and will be also able to defend, which would be perfect for Sarri, really. He can do the short pass that Sarri likes. Is that good for him as a player in the future? Look, that is the question. It does ponder which team will be the best fit for him. I feel like both teams will actually be quite good for him. You obviously have that risk there with Inter, who haven't won for a while, so if he wants to go and start winning, Juventus would be a very good team for him. But also, I'm kind of liking Inter's plan a bit better than Juventus's so far. They've got Conte. He's building an amazing team, actually based on that midfield as well. So I feel like he would actually slot in there quite well. But look, Juve's not going to go anywhere, let's be honest. And it really depends where he wants to play. If he wants to play more of that centre mid attacking role, or a bit in a more established midfield with planned out tactically, like Conte. Conte loves a good. You've seen him with all these midfield players: Pogba, Vidal, Kante. He knows how to play. He knows how to play a good midfield player, and that's what I'm saying here with Tonali. I feel like he will benefit more with Conte, because let's be honest, he is the better coach than Sarri, I would say. He hasn't won anything yet with Inter, but with the president Zhang's money coming in, I feel like they will be able to win quite soon. So I would say, yeah, look, Conte knows how to develop him. We've already seen with Barella Sensi that he's doing wonders with them. So I feel like Tonali would be better suited for that. But that's the thing. He will definitely be not a starter. He'll be a rotation player who will be able to do the job. He will be better than a Vecino or a Gagliardini. I feel like that's where he should go. But in saying that, Juve is also a safe bet, of course. And I feel like Inter is more rumoured at the moment, so I think Inter's favourite to get him. But anything can happen in the transfer market. Obviously, we all know that. So I would say the best option for him would be Inter. But hey, then again, Juventus is also safe for him. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Give that a like. Put down below where you think Tonali would best be suited at an Inter or Juventus, or even another club. And yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.